All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to another episode of the Gafford and Brown Show. My name is Lamar Gafford,
I'm Robert Brown.
and we have a very short and sweet show for you guys today. We're pretty much going to talk about mostly about the NBA playoffs and the NFL draft is ongoing right now. But first of all, let's just get off right off the bat here. And we pretty much have some breaking news. If you did not, if you haven't heard any already here, that it's going to be a little bit difference here right now with the Thunder Rocket series because Russell Westbrook is hurt with a torn meniscus on his right leg, and he's expected to miss some time. Now, Rob, you're a Thunder fan right here. And first of all, I just wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts about the injury and everything?
Devastated. Off top, devastated. It hurts. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of these playoffs. I know they're going to get past Houston. Houston, I still think the Thunder, without Westbrook, are good enough to beat Houston. I still think they're good enough to sweep Houston. When we first made our predictions, I said Houston was able to steal one game, maybe two, if they're knocking the threes down consistently, but they're not going to beat Oklahoma. But when you think about the Spurs or the Clippers, teams like that, that's when it gets hard. And as much as people have a love-hate relationship for Russell Westbrook, I mean, there's no doubt about it that he's still one of the best point guards in the NBA. He's a very valuable piece to the Thunder organization. He's the number two guy. And you saw that game, he got hurt, he still finished the game with 29 points. I mean, the guy he's valuable to Oklahoma City. He's valuable to their plans, but it's devastating. Randy Jackson, that's a guy who's in his second year. He's still young. That's a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, you have an older veteran like Derek Fisher, but Derek Fisher can't play defense like he used to. And offensively, he comes and goes. He have a game where he'll put up 10 points, 12 points, but that's a huge cry from what Russell Westbrook brings to the table. And right now, it makes me regret that the Thunder traded Eric Maynor, because Maynard's a guy, he's your traditional point guard. He doesn't bring the dynamic offense that Westbrook brings, or, the defensive commitment, but he's a smart player. He's able to pick his spots. He knows when to score. He knows when to sit guys up. So it's very, very devastating right now for the Thunder. Who knows? Ron Artest is able to come back from a similar injury, what was it, 12 days? So,
Yeah.
who knows what can happen? But I'm quite sure the Thunder aren't going to risk Westbrook coming back that fast because of his age and what can he do for him long term. I'm not sure of their plans. I don't think they want to rush him back so soon. I think they will take the wait and see approach and allow him to come back maybe for the next series, or if there's a chance the Thunder make it to the Western Conference Finals, maybe then. But I can't see them back 12 days. What are your thoughts, Lamar?
I pretty much have to say the same thing. I would think that any chance of him possibly playing in this series is probably going to be slim. It was pretty much going to be none. It's going to be ruled out right here because I can't see that happening. The next series, I kind of don't see it happening either, and I probably, if I were to go ahead and put on my doctor's cap right here, I would go ahead and say that he's probably out all the way into the West Finals. There's going to be a little bit of a questioning because of this, because we're thinking right now the series between Houston is going to go a little bit longer. We predicted 5 games. We said we gave Houston the game in the series because, their high-powered offense, how they could perform at home and all of that. Now this might give the chance to extend this series a little bit more to like 6 or 7 games. And, which means pretty much less rest. Their next opponent is either going to be the Clippers or the Grizzlies. If they draw the Clip, in which we thought that series is going to go to 7 games, and it looks like it's already holding true. If they play the Clippers, you got Chris Paul, and then you're actually gonna have to put either Reggie Jackson to have to cover him, or you're gonna have Derek Fisher to cover him, which pretty much that gives that point guard advantage to the Clippers. If it's the Grizzlies that are playing, that's going to play against OKC, well then their physical style of play might take a little bit of a toll against OKC, which might have a little bit of a less rest. So we'll get the chance to see what can they do here. I don't, like you said, I don't see them trying to rush back Russell Westbrook at any time in this series. Like you said, he is one of the key players that makes this team go and everything. But I can't see them trying to rush him back. But we're gonna have to see right now how this is going to deal with them about the West. I think they still can make it out. I think they can still get to the Western Conference Finals, but it's gonna be a little bit harder right now.
Yeah, and guys like Reggie Jackson, Jeremy Lamb, Perry Jones, those guys are going to get more minutes now because you're missing offensive production. Westbrook is, he's the Thunder's second scorer, primary scorer. He brings so much to the table with that guard. You're going to need guys like Reggie Jackson, Fisher. You're going to see Jeremy Lamb working through the rotation. Perry Jones. They're going to have to step up and give at least, 10 points, 5 points, the offensive production. Granted, Kevin Martin's still there. He's able to put in, offensively. But everybody has to raise their game right now because we don't know when he's going to come back. And there's going to be a need from everyone else on that bench to contribute offensively because that's one of Westbrook's greatest talents is, driving to the hole, getting those fouls, those momentum, those sparks of momentum. I know people are going to say, yeah, you guys should have kept Harden now, things like that. Well, that's beyond the organization's control due to finances. So, you can't really make that argument, it was going to happen eventually. You couldn't keep all three guys, but now you just have to use what you have. And the Thunder still have some great young guys. Like I said, Jeremy Lamb is a stud. Granted, he hasn't made that quick jump in the league yet, but he hasn't been given the opportunity, really. He's gotten garbage minutes. He's gotten little shots in there, but he hasn't gotten enough time, from my perspective, to truly make an impact. And so we're probably going to see his minutes go. Perry Jones is a guy who was drafted injured. Seeing him get garbage minutes, he's been in the D League just like Lamb, so I'm sure his offensive production is going to be needed. His minutes might go up as well. So I'm not counting Thunder out at all yet. I still think they're a great team. I still think they're able to go to the Western Conference Finals. I think that they still have depth. We don't know when Westbrook's going to be back. We don't know yet, so we just take the wait-and-see approach right now.
Exactly. Now let's also get into the other side of things right here, pretty much with the Rockets side. And we take a look at the injury, what happened to Patrick Beverley. He did a pretty good, decent job at disrupting Westbrook. But then again, a lot of people are taking a little bit of the issue here about the injury and what he caused to do that. And if you did not get a chance to see it, Russell Westbrook was trying to get was trying to call a timeout. Patrick Beverley knocked knees with him, and then next thing you know, Westbrook gets mad and everything, and pretty much he pretty much gets mad and all that stuff, and leading to this. In your words here, what are your thoughts about the play itself?
It looked dirty because the contact wasn't necessary. I remember watching a snippet of the game, and I was like, man, that's kind of unnecessary. I didn't think Westbrook was injured to the point where he would need surgery because he's the NBA's Iron Man right now. What he was. Not missing a game in high school, college, all the pros. So I didn't think it was anything too serious. Thought maybe it was like a little bruise. Something he'd be able to shake off, but he still finished that game. He was able to produce 22
Mm-hmm.
So, you didn't think anything was wrong, and, until we found out this morning about him needing surgery. So I take some issue with it. Is he a dirty player? He doesn't have a history of, being a dirty guy, but I just think that play was a bit unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see a little bit of an issue with it. In a way, you can basically say, well, he's trying to make a play of the ball. A lot of people try to do it a whole lot of times and everything. I kind of take a mixed approach about it. You kind of hate to see it happen. In a way, though, I probably lean a little bit more to the side of not. Now, I can understand, like you said, I can understand it looked dirty and everything. A lot of people try to do it a whole lot of times too, and again, it's unfortunate that we got a player like Russell Westbrook hurt, because in a way, this could, determine the shift the factor of this whole series here. So, right there, and pretty much, what I have to see here about him is in Game 5. Like, Patrick Beverley is going to be pretty much a marked man in Oklahoma City, because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to hate him. A lot of people that's going to hate him.
Yeah, he's definitely a marked man in Thunder territory. But here's the thing that I don't. Here's the reason why I'm not sold on this series being extended to maybe 7.
Mm-hmm.
Houston looks like a one-trick pony this series. Hard in the blood so far. Nobody else seems to really be able to knock the shots down. You're not really getting that many. Lynn looks lost. Chandler Parks is a guy who's, a lot of people's fan favorite. He hasn't been, that stellar. Harden, he's their lifeline, but the Thunder have done a good job of trying to contain him, roughing him up, things like that. I just don't think Houston's ready right now. Even with the Westbrook injury, I think the Thunder have enough to possibly sweep Houston. Now, like you said earlier, we gave, Houston a chance just because, they have a high-powered offense,
Mm-hmm.
that they lead in scoring. They're a team that, set a 3-point record, but I just don't see them taking this 7.
Yeah, I had to I'll say 6. I will go ahead and say 6. 6, probably not going to be 7, but I think 6 is going to be a little bit on the safe side on this one. Like we said, I almost counted them out in the game against Oklahoma City in I think Game 2, because it looked like here OKC, they were almost getting ready to run away with it, but next thing you know, the Rockets started to come back. Somebody else is really going to have to step up, like you said too. James Harden had 36 and 11 in that series, in that game. You had Beverly that had a double-double, 16 and 12. You had a Sheik that had 9 and 14. You also had Chandler Parsons that had 17 and 7. But there's also going to have to be somebody else that's going to have to try to step up. Maybe somebody else off the bench. They had only 2 players off the bench that scored points. That accounted for 17 points. Greg Smith with 6, Carlos Delfino with 11. So somebody else is going to also have to step up, because if Harden's shot goes cold like it did in Game 1, where he only scored 20 points, and Houston got blown out by 29 points, like you said, somebody else is just going to have to step up. I don't think they're ready really to take everything in this whole series, but they could make it a series here. They could make it a series. And by the way, we got a little bit of a comment here from Clarence. He said Houston is kicking themselves hard for not pulling out that victory the other night, and definitely so, because if they would have pulled out that victory.
If Houston won that game, going back into taking that series to Houston with the momentum in your hand and them losing an all-star, it definitely gives them the upper hand. It would have been an ultimate morale boost. So, yeah, Clarence was right. He hit the nail on the head with that. I just think that, it's unfortunate that this had to happen, for, because I'm a Thunder fan, it's
Right.
unfortunate that it had to happen. But I think this is going to make the Thunder play harder, actually. I think Durant finally, he gets, a little joke that people say, he's kind of scared of lot of people joke about Westbrook being crazy and stuff. But KD is going to have a chance to go out and do what he does, and that's put buckets, get buckets. No more clapping his hands and then the ball, things like that. He has his time to shine. And I think we're going to see, like the commercials go, not nice. I think Kevin Durant is definitely going to do that. I think this is right now, I'm feeling a sweep coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oklahoma City goes to Houston to take those two games. I just think right now, the vibe in the locker room is probably the us against the world thing going. The series already had a little heat to it because of Harden playing, former teammates. I think we got a sweep going now. I had them going 5. I think right now there's a sweep. I just feel like Kevin's ready to go to the finals. The Sports Illustrated cover. I think you've seen it, right?
Yes, I seen it. I got it. I got it at the house too.
He's tired of being number 2. He's tired of being number 2. He was number 2 in high school, drafted number 2. He's tired of it. Finished number 2 last year. I think he's tired of being number 2. I think we're going to see a different attitude. I think we're going to see him come out angry and come out motivated. And like I said, who knows Westbrook's timetable? So I think he's going to get a sweep there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is pretty much now going to have to be all on KD to have to step up now. And like you said about the cover and all that stuff, this sounds like the guy here that is fed up. He's pretty much fed up right now. He had his one taste of success. He had his taste of success last year. The team has gradually gotten better every single year since they've been in Oklahoma City. And now it's just all about having to take that next step. Well, right now, go ahead, take that next step. You're going to have to demand everything. You're going to have to demand the ball because now this is going to be your time to shine here. And like you said earlier, I kind of wish they didn't, I also kind of wish they didn't trade, Eric Maynard as well, too. And it kind of also makes you think as well, what if they didn't trade James Harden? Would they be still straight and all that and everything? We may never know because you can look at it by hindsight. But there you go.
Yeah, I don't really harp too much on the Harden thing because it was going to be damn near impossible to keep all 3 of those guys together. With them being that talented and being young, without somebody wanting more money or something like that. So I had a feeling that wasn't going to happen. So I don't really harp too much on the Harden thing. Now the Maynard thing, I'm kind of pissed about because it was a late trade that really didn't. I didn't see how it really pushed the Thunder over the top. I thought we lost a guy that's a little value. That has more value than what we gave up for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a guy that we saw 2 years ago or a year and a half ago where he stepped up when Westbrook wasn't really doing things that the team needed. And he's a guy that when healthy, he's a solid point guard.
Mm-hmm.
He's the definition of what you would say a floor general. Setting guys up, shooting when necessary. And I didn't see the point in trading him, but hopefully Reggie Jackson steps up. Fisher there with the veteran experience, and I really want to see Jeremy Lamb get more minutes.
Yeah, me too, because that would help out a whole lot in the development of him and all that. So we're still gonna have ourselves a very fun series. Rob says sweep. I say I have the Rockets not the Rockets, but the Thunder in 6 here. So we're still gonna get a chance to see. It's still gonna be a pretty exciting series right now. So that's just pretty much it, and I just hope that Russell Westbrook continues to have a speedy recovery here too. So we're going to go ahead and take ourselves another 30-second break right here, and we're going to talk about the other series that are going on in the NBA playoffs right now. Pretty much looks like everything's going on business as usual, but we're going to share our take with it in a few, so we'll be right back. All right, we're right back with the Gafford and Brown Show, and guess what? We got ourselves Clarence Sellers coming live in right now. How you doing, Clarence?
Hey, how's it going,
It's going well.
Number one guess.
Most definitely. Now, most definitely.
Well, hey, yeah, that was bad. Oh wow, that was big news today. I mean, right now, I think if you're Denver, Golden State, Memphis, the Clippers, right now, you're going, oh, we really legitimately have a shot at going to the NBA Finals now. You got Tony, you got the Spurs limping, and then now you got Westbrook. Oh man, you got the top two guys. They limping, they limping into round seven.
Now, see, I'm so glad that you came on here too, because I'm also going to ask you for your thoughts here as well about this, about that big news here. And what do you think? I mean, do you think it was a dirty play? I mean, or that or not?
Upon looking at it at first, I mean, I don't think it was a dirty play. I don't think it was. I don't think it was dirty intention. It looked dirty, but it wasn't dirty intention. I think he was intending to try to go for the ball. I think Russell tried to stop and call timeout, and I guess at the point of the attack, he tried to steal the ball. He tried to make a play on the ball, and it just came out ugly. I don't think the intention was ugly. That's why. So I mean, it's unfortunate. I know Charles and Kenny went at it strong about this the other night. So now with this surgery going on, I'm quite sure Charles is going around pounding his chest a little bit, saying, "I told you." That almost looked very bad there for him. So, but like I said, this just now blow the door open now for the whole Western Conference. I think all the teams in the West now are really looking at going. Well, maybe except for the Lakers, they might not be looking like that.
Now this actually brings us to our pretty much our segue right now too on the other series of as far as the NBA Finals NBA playoffs as well. I'm gonna ask Rob first here. What has been your most exciting series in this whole playoffs?
Golden State ever, no question. That's been the most enjoyable for me. Watching Curry continue to grow and basically become the new Steve Nash, it seems. I mean, this guy, I mean, it's like Steve Nash mixed with Reggie Miller. I mean, the dude knocked down threes for days. He's developed his passing game. It's amazing to watch. And Denver is another team that I really like going to the playoffs because of how deep they are. You know, everybody loves George Karl. You know, he's one of the OGs of coaching in the NBA right now. Between him and Popovich, you know, and you want to see him win. You know, he beat cancer. You know, he's got past the whole melodrama. So you want to see George Karl do well. And you know, I've enjoyed this series. I've also enjoyed watching the Clippers and that offense. You know, the other game, I think it was game 2 where Jamal Crawford went off. You know, but other than that, it's pretty much been blowout city. There's a lot of these games and series. You brought up a good point earlier. You said, you know, teams are licking their chops. What's your favorite dark horse right now to make it out the West?
Well, Denver was it right there. I thought Denver could do it. I think so. Right now, I mean, I'm looking at Tony Parker's 2 games against the Lakers. I don't think he's really back to where he was before that ankle injury. He still looks. I mean, well, in the second half of the other game, maybe so. I have to see more about it. I think Denver can beat San Antonio. I think this is the one time George Karl goes to Greg Popovich. Remember now, all these years, Popovich has eliminated those old Denver teams with Carmelo there. I think this is the one team he can go to Pop this time and say, hey, I can take you 7, and I think we can beat you too. I think Denver is now. I think I said before going into this playoffs, the one team I think OKC didn't want to see until the Western Conference Finals was Denver. I think that was the one team that I honestly thought could beat them. Like right now, I think Memphis can, but obviously I think Memphis and the Clippers, they're pretty much the same team. So you know, it's that battle is going in itself, and I've already said about that with that series is, you know, each team will get a blowout, and after that, the other 5 games are going to just, well, because I already predicted we'll go 7 games. The other 5 games are just going to be close buzzer beating, you know, games that are at least 6 points or less when when it's the final score is up. So I would say Denver's definitely my dark horse. I think Carl has the team this time to do it.
I gotta agree with you on that one, Clarence. If we already had Denver pretty much as a dark horse before, but now seeing that this injury news here that's coming out here, I could pretty much say that Denver has a little bit of a better chance to actually, possibly get a chance to make it into the finals this year. And like you said, I mean, happy for George Karl. You really want to see him do well. You really want to see him, have a very good team. And this is a very good team right now that, that has the pieces together. They don't have the superstar, but they have the sum is basically greater than all the parts together. So.
Right, exactly. And Clarence brought a good point. This is a team that the Spurs owned Denver in the playoffs during the Melo era. I remember, I think his first two appearances in the playoffs, they played the Spurs first round. I think one was a sweep, and I think the Denver stole the game. But yeah, he's right. The Spurs pretty much handled Denver a couple of times in the playoffs. So I'm sure George Karl remembers that, and I'm sure he would like to see them now. Because on paper, when you look at the Nuggets, they play just as unselfishly as the Spurs do. I mean, it's a team that loves to pass the ball. Any night, any guy can step up and take over the game. And I think they feel like they're ready for that push. And this is a team that also had a pretty good record against Oklahoma City with Westbrook. So, they're scary right now.
Yeah, they're truly scary. I think, as I said, Memphis, it would be true, and it depends how long Westbrook's out. I think, I know Artest came back 12 days after his meniscus tear. Of course, he came back too soon. And there's a whole barrage of issues going on with that team right there. But he came back too soon from that. So I think I'm almost guessing that he would probably be, if Houston does stretch this to a game 7, most likely that would probably be the game he'll return. Obviously, he should be back by the time they play either the Clippers or the Grizzlies. So, with that being said, but I said before, Houston. Well, I know Houston. They had a 4-point lead with about a minute, some change left. And I don't know right now they're kicking themselves because if that was a 1-1 series with this injury, I would go ahead and say it's 7 because that was the steal they needed in OKC to win to even extend this thing to a 6 or 7 game series. So obviously, if OKC beats them tonight or whatever, then that obviously is 3-0, and then okay, maybe they can get the sweep and get some rest and
right.
Not have to worry about anything. But I don't know. I don't think so.
Now let's shift also things out here onto the East, and pretty much those series have been boring, to say the least here. But there's still been some pretty good ones here and there in the series. Looking down everything, Miami's up 3-0, basically proving Brandon Jennings wrong. Indiana's up 2-0.
You're in the kitchen. Why don't you go and grab me a broom real quick? Ray Allen was shooting in that building.
I got it right here.
In 10 years, and he was shooting in the air like he didn't miss a step. I thought they'd get a game. That's a wrap. I think LeBron took that personally, so I think they're going to go ahead and make an example out of them. So.
Oh, yeah. Then you got Indiana and Atlanta, Brooklyn and Chicago. Actually, Chicago's now up 2-1, and then the Knicks and Boston 2-0 in that one. Everything's basically going pretty good, pretty much as we thought here. I just go ahead with let's see. Do you think that there's gonna be like any chance that we might see an extension of any series right here and there or not? Or I mean, what do you think about? Yeah.
I think the Celtics got a little more fighter than we think. I think they like being down 0-2. I think they like that. For some reason, the Celtics in the first, since the Big Three or since Paul Pierce, Garnett, and Doc been playing together, they have to have 7-game series in these early rounds. I don't know why it's like that, but it's been like that since they've been together. And if anybody come back from being down 0-2, is them. playoffs. You know, I think when they first got together, I think the first series went 7 games. And the second one, I know they had a 7-game series against Atlanta. We all remember that 7-game series against the Bulls back in 09.
Yeah.
Last year, they went 7 with Philly in the second round. You know, that's just how those guys roll. So we'll see. Everything else, I pretty see going down the same. I think we know Miami's going to win. That's a sweep. I think Atlanta might come back and still one, but I think Indiana's going to win that. Chicago, I picked them to beat Brooklyn anyway. Brooklyn might get another one. It's pretty much business as usual.
Well, Milwaukee's dead. Atlanta, boy, it's a huge win. It's a huge game from up there. They got it. They better win. They better win tomorrow at home. Now, if you look at the regular season series between the two, the home team held serve every game. So, if you look at it from that perspective, you might think, okay, Atlanta should win these two. I'm gonna hold hope. I said Indiana 6. I'm still gonna hold hope that Atlanta does win the 2 here. The Celtics gotta win tonight. I mean, I understand, Robert. I understand they've done that all throughout their whole tenure there with that Doc Rivers thing. But at some point, you go to the well too many times, it's not gonna be there. I just think that the Knicks, Carmelo is just he's on something else right now. He's on. I think let's remember that game last year. I think the game last year was one of the playoff games. I think it was like Game 3 or whatever last year in Boston. Oh no, the year before last. Excuse me, in Boston where where Carmelo went for 40-something points. That's the game where Amari broke his hand or whatever in Boston. And they almost won that game, and they barely lost there. I'm almost certain that Carmelo will go there again and put up at least 30 plus there. And I mean Boston better win tonight. If they don't win tonight, again, that's a broom. You got 2 brooms there, and then Chicago and New Jersey, Chicago and Brooklyn is going the same way as I planned. I thought Chicago would go. I thought Chicago would take control of the series. I said they would win in 6, so I'm almost certain that maybe the Bulls will win game 4. They'll go back to New Jersey. They'll win there, and then the Bulls will probably just stick a fork in them in 6 games. So I say the Bulls and the Pacers are the only 2 series from that side I see extending any more than 5 games. Outside of that, I think the Knicks and obviously the Heat are going to wrap these things up probably by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I think the same thing too. If at all any chance of any one of these series is probably going to go a little bit of an extension here, I pretty much would say Brooklyn and Chicago. And right now, looking at Game 3 here, you had the Bulls winning that game, I think 79-76, pretty much the ugly type game that I already expected it was going to be in this series. Outside of all of this, I think Boston's probably going to go ahead and win Game 3 tonight because of all the atmosphere, what's going to happen, that's what's happening around there in Boston and all that. But Miami, sweep. Atlanta, if they don't do anything in Game 3,
they don't win tomorrow, it's over.
Sweep or at least in 5 games. So, yeah.
That has to be the most boring sweep ever, though, if Indiana would have sweep them out.
Well, the inbounds play right before the end of the 3rd quarter. That right there shows me, oh, God, they're in trouble. Y'all are in trouble. The guy, Gerald, I think it was the inbounds pass from, I can't remember who made the inbound, who made the pass or whatnot. But I think it was Gerald Green to, I want to say Paul George or whatnot. And that whole scenario is messed up there. And I think the bad thing about the Atlanta game is, who would you guys say is the best player? Who's the best player between those 2 teams in that series? Who's the best player of that series?
You're talking Indiana and Atlanta?
Indiana and Atlanta.
If I had to go ahead and choose, I probably would have said before the series, Paul George. You, Rob?
Yeah, I would have definitely said Paul George. Although I think Jeff Teague is a guy that's pretty underrated as a point guard. He's had a pretty good season, but I would say Paul George if before the season started.
Yeah. Well, some would say Josh Smith. Obviously, he has playoff experience. He's an all-star. Well, he wants to be a max player, but I think after getting dunked on the other night, I don't know how well that's going to go. Some would say Josh Smith. Obviously, the matchups there that Josh Smith should be. This was his time to shine, and he hasn't shined yet. I think, for that to be said, it's a very big game with him. I think, if he really wants his max contract and wants all that money, he's going to have to show up. He's got to show up.
Yeah, he's got to show up because, like you said, he wants big money. And, Danny Ferry, since he got to Atlanta, he's kind of like, okay, if you're not, he got rid of Joe Johnson's contract, which was amazing. He deserves executive of the year just for moving Joe Johnson's contract. And, Josh Smith wants this money, so it's like, he got to show and prove. Like you say about the NFL postseason, it's money time, Josh.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, and that's the thing here. Yeah, it is money time. If you want that big time contract, you're going to have to basically go out there and have to show yourself right here. Prove to everybody that you deserve it right now. Because if not, you're gonna lose a couple of millions, man.
We know a couple of free agents out there. Who do you think is going to La La Land that's in the playoffs right now this summer?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be an interesting summer out there in that portion of the country anyway, because
Mm-hmm.
Boy, if I meet Cook check and right now, man, they dropped. Well, obviously, if they drop tonight's game, I'm with Steve Naismith. It's a sweep. It's over. I think Pac's gonna sweep him again.
Yeah.
Milwaukee could lose Ellis and Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that would be a big blow to everything right there for that one.
I think right now, well, I think, if you're Miami, I think you're really just, at this point, you might as well go ahead and shine the Larry O'Brien trophy up and just go ahead and just give it to them. I don't know how much longer we can sit here and watch this Miami onslaught here. The 4-4-4, could that be possible? The 4-4-4? Across the board.
It could be.
Remember the Lakers almost did it in 01.
Mm-hmm.
They almost did it in 01, but you remember now the thing that caught with the Lakers is they had to sit for 12 days to play, so that game one got them. The Lakers almost pulled it off, so it's starting to look ugly. But no, actually I think Indiana, New York definitely give Miami a run for their money. But right now, as far as the Western Conference go, I think it's. I would say San Antonio, man. It's just that Tony Parker. I don't know. I saw it. I don't know. Now, one thing that Popovich, I guess, is good. Now, hopefully, on the road tonight, it works out well. Is just Manu Ginobili, who just came back from 2003 and is playing again. That guy. He's suited up again. So if we keep seeing the old 03 Manu Ginobili out there, then.
Yep. That could be basically pretty beneficial with that one too. Like I said, and you mentioned about Miami here, it's crazy that they're doing all of this and pretty much it just seems like if they were actually going at it, like if they tried, like I'm not gonna say that they're not trying hard, because obviously they are, but they're on cruise control basically, and because if they wanted to basically kill the Bucks by 60 points, they possibly could do that, really.
I think if they said LeBron way in box, they could go ahead and sweep him with just a bench.
think if you look at game 2, if it, the 12-0 run did him in. That's it. That ended the game right there. That ended the game. That 12-0 run going into the fourth quarter. That ended the game right there. If you can eliminate that, obviously, I think that was their one game to steal. If Brandon Jennings won in anything of 6 games, that was their one game to steal. And obviously, they blew that one. And then yesterday, again, Ray Allen shot the lights out of the Bradley Center. And I mean, he ain't played there in 10 years, so obviously he's comfortable shooting there. So that being said, yeah.
Now, I also go back to another thing here what Robin mentioned earlier too about the Lakers. We pretty much can kind of write them out of the series right now, but off season, like who you think is gonna get the chance to possibly go there and everything based on their money situation and all?
Well, since the Lakers are the little spoiled child of the family that gets everything. At this point, I think I have to look at the free agency list here. Actually, I was trying to pull that up not too long ago. But the first thing is first, is Dwight really going to stay? Because I mean, right now, the Kobe thing. I mean, the amnesty. And I know Bill Simmons has brought this up a couple times. And Magic, I actually one of the funniest things is he brought it up the other night, and Magic shot it down completely. he shot that whole notion down completely. But you gotta really consider that as I say, do they say, hey Kobe, it was great here in La La Land. We know you're not gonna win you're not gonna get your 6th championship here. I mean, I don't think they will in the next couple of years anyway. I just don't see it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it was nice. Because most likely, I don't think they're gonna fire D'Antoni. He's going to be put on charge. I don't think they're going to fire D'Antoni unless somehow, someway, Phil Jackson just come out and say, I want the Laker job. Which, we all know, he would do that if it wasn't for the fact that, he has a little, family tide issue in that scenario there. So, I guess the first question is, do they keep Dwight? Is Dwight going to stay? I mean, you look at a Houston team right now, and you look at this Houston team, they're not a bad team. They're really not a bad team, dude. Does Dwight say, hey, I got James Harden? Jeremy Lin's going to get better. I mean, I know I say that in tongue in cheek, but Jeremy Lin's going to get better. I mean, eventually, he's got to learn not to turn the ball over. I mean, right now, I don't know if it's me or not, but he just looked lost out there these first 2 games. Remember, this is his first playoff. I forgot he didn't play last year with the Knicks. So he looked completely, especially in game 1, he looked completely lost out there. So obviously, he's going to get that there. You got Parsons. He's pretty decent. Sheik would be a perfect backup for Dwight as Gortat was him in Orlando. Obviously, does Dwight look at that situation and say, hey, I think I can do better over here than staying here. Now, obviously, if it's all about money, then the Lakers have that. Again, if Dwight stays, you have to build this team kind of sort of like the teams we're building in Orlando. You got to get 3-point shooters. You definitely got to get perimeter shooters. Now, I'm sure D'Antoni would want that anyway. Guys where Dwight can kick the ball out to, and they can make wide open shots. Now the defense is kind of confused there. I think again they have to do something with Pau Gasol. I don't know if they're going to keep him or not. Mm-hmm. That's another big issue there. Who's going to take Pau? Obviously, who's going to take Ron Artest? He's getting up there in age as well. And how do you do this? I mean, the first question is, it lies with Dwight and it lies with Kobe. I mean, what do they do with? I think if Dwight takes the max, does they sign Dwight to the max, and if they say, okay, Kobe, here's $30 million, we'll find you another team. But I almost certainly don't think that they're going to let Kobe go out like that. I think that he will still be a Laker next season. I mean, as much as Bill Simmons is writing about him probably not being there. It just depends on the situation with Dwight. I mean, I don't think New Jersey. I don't know if he still want to go. I keep calling New Jersey. I don't think he still want to go to Brooklyn. I think Brook Lopez. I mean, look, Shaq might be on to something with the Brook Lopez thing. He's pretty decent. I think Brook's pretty decent there. So I think you might want to just keep that around. I don't know. Maybe if he does accept the trade to LA, maybe you do that. I don't know, but it really just lies in between those two guys right there.
Yeah, I have to say the same thing too, because I would not be, the amnesty idea. It is a pretty decent notion of the whole thing because, of course, like we said, Kobe's gonna get $30 million. Do I think that they will do that? I don't think so, unless they actually had to, and that would probably be the very, 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 very last option. So now it's just really gonna have to be about Dwight. Like, does he sign? What can they get for him if he doesn't sign? Sign and trade, all that different type of stuff. And this off season is pretty much going to be a big one for the Lakers. It's pretty much going to be big here.
Franchise making, like, this is probably the next, it'll take 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dwight stays.
Right.
I know he's not, he's a little fragile mentally. It's somebody I wouldn't trust him, with a lot of money or anything like that. But I think he stays because he is getting that role of leadership without Kobe there. He's getting a taste of life without Kobe. And I think he likes LA, the big lights, the other deals he can do. I think he's going to stay, like, based off when he had the players only meeting. I think he's stepping into that role of leader now. I think he stays because he knows he's the future. Really, now Houston, it's like you said, Clarence, this is a Houston franchise that's been flirting with Dwight, since, his days in Orlando, they were willing to give up everything for Dwight, but I think he stays in LA. I'm not 100% sure, but I just got a good feeling he stays just because, he's gotten familiar with it now.
Well, obviously everybody's going to say that's the best possible scenario because they don't want to see their beloved Lakers go down. But I think, obviously you have to figure out what team is who. Is Kobe going to be willing to really take a second fiddle out of the Dwight again? Remember now, this is the second big guy Kobe will have to take second fiddle to out there in LA. I don't know how well that'll go with him. The first big guy took over and everything. Obviously, if Kobe goes back to doing that again, obviously, I think then maybe that does increase LA's chances of possibly winning another championship in the next year or two. But, I don't know. That team, has to go through a major, they have to go through a major gut out this year. They got to clean that team out. Again, I think, if they can just get rid of Pau Gasol, if they can get rid of him in his contract, I think then they'll be able to do some things. But it depends. But I know there's gonna be a full court press for Houston, Dallas.
I kind of don't give us a chance. I pretty much have kind of ruled Dallas out. I said that there would be 4 teams that he probably has a chance to go to. Back to LA because he gets more money. Going to Houston, Atlanta, which is at home, and then Dallas. And I think out of the 4, unless they really do, major changes and stuff, I kind of don't think here that Dallas might be the one that might offer him less money, and I just really don't think that he's going to do that.
No, because Dallas not. I think Dwight's in a position where he's used to making the playoffs, and he wants to make the playoffs. He wants to win the title. And Dallas right now, that's not going to get you a title anytime too soon. LA is always going to be a sixth place for free agents. Once they're, under the cap, they'll be able to make more moves. Who knows? LeBron might come one day. You never know. Then you got Houston. They're built to win right now. They just need that one piece, and Dwight's that piece. So it's going to be an interesting offseason.
Well, here's another thing that I heard through the grapevines, and maybe this is something to watch out for. Watch where Chris Paul goes. Do you think that might have an influence? Because obviously Paul stays in LA, obviously. I know one of the things where I heard where both Paul and Dwight, Atlanta can get them both. You know, they can max them out both and bring them both there with Al Horford. Obviously, they'll turn Josh Smith loose. And one other dark horse, of course, I don't think this would happen, but it can happen possibly, is that he goes back to Orlando. Obviously, not really happening, but you know, it can. It can happen. So, yeah, I think in all likelihood, I think he stays in LA. But like I said, but with him staying in LA, there has to be something, you know, you have to think about to do. Kobe. I think I don't know. Does Jim Buss decide? Okay, we'll go one more year with this whole team next season. We'll just try this whole thing one more time, and we'll see. And if not, then you know, next summer we'll worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or next summer we'll worry about the whole Kobe Bryant situation, or do we just turn the clock down and say, okay, hey, it's time to put this team on the play?
Yeah.
Hey, Kobe, you either play second fiddle or you gotta go.
Yeah, so basically that's probably going to be the big issue right there with this one too. We're going to go ahead and take ourselves a 30-second break. We'll have me, Rob, and Clarence breaking down a little bit about the NFL draft. So yes, we will be right back with the show in about 30. All right, we're right back here with the show right now, with the Gafford and Brown Show. Also got Clarence Sellers on the line. We're gonna talk about a little bit of the NFL draft coming up right here. And right now, it kind of looks like a little bit of a boring NFL draft because, well, not too many skill position players have been taken. This is the first draft in a long time that, well, no running back has been taken in the first round either. You got Geno Smith sitting in the green room, still sitting in the green room as we speak. You know, first of all, since you got your Vikings cap on, Clarence, what are your thoughts about the whole draft? And you guys got 3 first-round picks too.
Well, obviously, with the winners of the draft, obviously, I have to say Minnesota, probably St. Louis as well. I think for us, obviously, for Sharif Floyd to fall in our laps, and that was somebody that we thought would be picked in the mid-round, for him to fall way down in our laps, I mean, I know Leslie Frazier and Rick Spielman were salivating at their mouths with that. Again, being able to get Xavier, excuse me, I'm caught in my throat. I'm sorry. Xavier Rhodes and Cordell Patterson. Wow, that was good there. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that we can trade back the second, third round, because I mean, I still think that there's a couple of other players out there that maybe we could get that could really put us over the top. As far as I'm sure watching Mike this morning, I don't think Greeny really approved of his Jets, and I don't think they made too bad. I think obviously they got somebody to replace Darrell Reeves, so I don't think they did as bad as everybody say they did. I think, you know. Now the one questionable team was you guys, Lamar. I don't know how you guys let Elam pass you by like that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I was
really got a good replacement from that one. They thank you kindly on that one.
I'm gonna go ahead and really say this on this one. I was really ticked off about the questionable decisions in the draft. Of course, if everybody might know, we had the 18th pick. We traded our pick to San Francisco, the right to swap first round picks, and also to go ahead and take a third rounder. That's one of the issues that I had right there. You couldn't get a second rounder for him. Then they get a player that we possibly could have needed in Eric Reed. Okay, that's all right. I'm thinking maybe the 31st pick would get a chance, bounce back, maybe get Jonathan Cyprian of FIU or somebody else. Because I did say that we needed offensive line help, but then we get this guy by the name of Travis Frederick of Wisconsin, and I kind of just thought, you know, he could have been there in the later rounds. How come we got him right now, you know? And that's kind of been that was questionable decision making right there about them, and I just don't know what happened about this one here too.
Yeah, Lamar, let's finish my hand on that one too. I mean, I don't know what you guys
Oh, definitely. And especially, we still got some big names right there in the second round. I mean, Geno Smith. What you gonna say?
What was the reaction to you guys when you guys saw EJ Manuel go up there right away? I mean, that was because where I was at when that happened, my jaw almost dropped off the thing. I mean, now I think some may have had EJ as probably being the better quarterback eventually over time, you know, throughout their careers that he may have developed to be the better quarterback. But I mean, to pick him, you know, the first quarterback in the middle of the rounds, I mean, that was a complete surprise for me. I definitely see that one coming.
Complete stunner. Because I thought that Geno Smith was much better than EJ Manuel, and there could have been a chance that he could have still been, you know, I think EJ Manuel was still probably going to be one of the top 5 quarterback prospects here, but to be the first quarterback taken, I just don't really see that. I didn't see the best thing of that.
The thing I think with EJ Manuel is the fact that you look at the current climate of the league, and that zone reads, it's a little sexy right now. And I think he would fit that system more than, I think he would fit that system better than Geno Smith would.
Yeah. I say this, obviously, Florida State with quarterbacks reaching high. It's happening in a couple of different drafts here. I think we got killed a couple of years ago for going to yeah, I see Todd McShay really murdered Buffalo yesterday.
Oh, man.
But yeah, some of these Florida State quarterbacks, you know, teams want to reach high and get them. Reach high and get them.
Especially.
Yeah, that was a complete stunner. It was. I didn't think he was. I thought at least Matt Barkley would have got picked first.
Oh, yeah.
Does Jacksonville take a quarterback early with that first pick in the second round? Do they take Geno? Do they take Barkley? Do they take the quarterback from Syracuse? You cannot see them taking a quarterback at all.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Well, the Jacksonville thing, let's see. Here's how I see that. Again, I think if you were to say right now, obviously, if any of those quarterbacks right now you mentioned were to get drafted by Jacksonville, is there much of a difference between who the Jaguars got now, which is Blaine Gabbert, a healthy Blaine Gabbert hopefully, and Chad Henne versus a Marrone, a Geno Smith, or a Gleason and Matt Barkley? Do you think any of those would be any better than what Jacksonville already has?
That would be a decent question right now, because honestly, I don't think they're probably going to get a bridge guy, because pretty much I really think that if at all, they're going to try to get another quarterback, they're probably going to get one in next year's draft, where you probably got Johnny Football, right there, and that could be a good idea right there for them. It becomes a little bit of a.
Freeman might be a free agent next year too.
Yeah, true. So it could be a little bit of a different story right here. What do they do? I mean, do they value the quarterbacks here? All these ones that they got right here, or do they just go ahead and just say, well, no, we'll just stick with Sunshine Gabbert? What do you think, Rob? Rob?
Hello?
Yeah, what do you think?
I agree with Clarence. I really don't think any of those guys are going to come in and make much of a difference compared to what they already have. I mean, we saw what Jerry Hughes did last year towards the end of the season. He actually put up solid numbers. I think him and Blackman have a chemistry, growing. So I really don't think you take the chance. I mean, you could, but I mean, why? I mean, one of those guys is going to drop probably some more. You can pick one later in the draft. I wouldn't take that chance. But if they do pick any one of the guys, I think they will pick Geno.
I just found out about this morning that I didn't know about, and I should have. The Jags actually should go for a running back, and I actually thought about this too. And there's actually, I actually thought about this should go about running back maybe later on in the round. I think right now Jacksonville need a pass rusher. They do. Now Bjorn Warner is the one that they were looking at from Florida State. He actually got drafted by Indy, so he's gone. Jacksonville has a lot of hope. And quarterback, they have two that they can use. I mean, obviously, like I said, obviously, for Jack Del Rio did a huge disservice to Blaine Gabbert by throwing the that early in his career. I think he did it. There was no way 2 years ago Blaine Gabbert should have not been on an NFL field with that. Last year, he played okay here and there. The shoulder, he got messed up badly with the shoulder. It bothered him during those seasons, and eventually he had to go out with it and get it repaired. So hopefully that comes back. I think this year more than ever, I think he's definitely that whole quarterback class. He's definitely on the clock for doing something this year. He's got to do something. But at the same time, this team, the team is not. The team just needs a whole makeover. And I thought a running back would be, because here's a stat that I found out. Maurice Jones-Drew, and I heard Stephen A. Smith say this as well. Maurice Jones-Drew went out week 6 against the Raiders. I think the first half in week 6 against the Raiders. With 414 yards. Remember that. He also had a holdout, too, right before the season started. No, he still led the Jags in rushing, and he sat out 10 games. He sat out 10 games and still led the Jags in rushing at the end of the season.
Wow.
That's just how bad it was. So they have to get. I would look at Eddie Lacy, maybe Eddie Lacy, or if you don't think he's gonna be around, you go get somebody else or whatnot. But I don't think quarterback is what they want to do. I think that's what they might do. The whole quarterback panic. I think they may do it, but I don't think they have to.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough times right there in Jacksonville because they really need some players, and they really need some players fast. But I say this, at least they got nice uniforms now.
You know what? With the helmet and everything.
Those hats are pretty cool.
We do too.
What do you think about them hats? What'd you say, Rob?
I like that.
Oh, I think the hats are pretty nice actually too. I mean, you got the team name and city name on the brim and all that stuff, and it just seems like they make they continue to make a very good statement with the fashion and everything too. So I see nothing wrong with that.
Big time. Yeah, I kind of like what the NFL draft has done over the last couple of years with the guest announcers coming up, the old school people from the old teams or stuff, like old team, people from like the old teams or stuff coming up there and announcing the draft picks in the later rounds that they do. I kind of like that. I think Roger Goodell, one thing this year is he didn't get caught off by all the bear hugs this year. He didn't get caught off guard by that this time, like he did last year. So, but yeah, I think as far as that goes, I think they do a good job with it. I think they have done a good job with it over the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
I think some people were complaining about how long the first round was, maybe because the draft was so boring this year. So you're gonna get that.
Yep, definitely, and well, basically it's pretty good and all that stuff too.
Half of what we did. We can do half of what we did in these next couple of rounds. Oh man, I'll be happy.
Oh
I'll
man.
be glad. Hey, we had 3 glaring needs going into the draft, and we got all 3 of those needs done in one round. In the first round at that. Yeah, I'm pretty content.
We're pretty much gonna go ahead and try to wrap up the show a little bit here too. With some more news here that's going around. First of all, I told you I was going to tell you this on the next your next appearance on this show. The David Kahn era is gone in Minnesota. Looks like it. And Flip Saunders might be the guy that's going to replace him. Your thoughts about that one?
Oh, yeah. Well, Lamar, you've been following me for a while, so you know how I feel about David Kahn. One David Kahn. I will say this in his defense. I think, like I said, this was supposed to be his reprieve season, and you know you can't have a reprieve season, you know, with all your top guns being out for, you know. And I know injuries are a part of the game, but not like this. I mean, you know, you got your top guns out 2 to 3 months and months at a time, not weeks and weeks or days and days at a time, you know. So you couldn't really do much with that. I think, you know, you had a projected starting 5 lineup that never played a game this season with each other. Never. You remember the projected lineup was going into the season, it was supposed to be at some point this season Ricky Rubio, Brandon Roy, Chase Budinger, Kevin Love, Nikola Pekovic. None of them have all played with each other this year. So I think for that you have to. But at the same time, if you watch Steph Curry the other night, I think that's one of the reasons why he had to go. Steph Curry could have been a Timberwolves. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life.
Oh man, dang. Another news story here, basically one that we can all laugh about here. Rick Pitino's tattoo. He actually went ahead with his bet here. He said that he was gonna get a tattoo. The Cardinals won the finals, won the national championship. He did it. Your thoughts about that one, Rob?
Well, I'm glad he's a man of his word. What did he get?
He got, I think, the logo, the Louisville logo. I think the Cardinal L, and then national champions in their record.
Well, as much money as it's paying him, I'll get a tattoo.
Yeah, he went through with that. He took some pictures with the champion, with the trophy right beside him and stuff. So he went and did it. So. I'm sure now that's a huge recruiting tool. And hey, we got a son in Minnesota too. So hey, you know what? Things are gonna turn around up there in the state of Minnesota. Yeah, we got his little son up there getting ready to coach the Gophers this year. So yeah, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're close to the success his dad has. Yeah, it's gonna be some good years up there. Big teams.
All right. So basically, we're gonna go ahead and call this a show. Thank you once again, Clarence, for stepping in. As always, you continue to amaze us and everything too.
No problem, gentlemen. Hey, it's gonna be a good, fun weekend. Well, except for the folks in Milwaukee. Yeah. Saturday, Sunday will be the last time you see your team for a while. I think what's 21-something weeks before the Packers play, so yeah, it's gonna be a while.
At least they'll get a chance to go fishing. So there's that one right there. So pretty much we're gonna go ahead and call this a show right now. My name is Lamar Gafford.
I'm Robert Brown.
I'm playing Silver signing out.
And we're basically gonna go ahead and sign out, and that's about it.